So guess what? Why do I go on Tucker Carlson to bring my message? Because he has the #1 news show in America, and I get to speak to half the country. And they're not inviting me on anywhere else. Right? Why won't they invite me on CNN or MSNBC? Well, because I have got a counter narrative to their establishment narrative. And let's remember what Rachel Maddow, Chris Hayes, and the people at CNN are there to do. They're there to manufacture consent for the people who pay them. And so Katrina van der Heuvel, who's the editor of The Nation, and by the way, was married to the leading scholar on Russia who recently passed, Stephen Cohen. And she also published Aaron Mate's debunking of Russiagate at The Nation, which she took a lot of heat for. And then he won the award for that. So she published this article that she wrote, "We need a real debate about the Ukraine war. Shouldn't the ramifications, perils, and multifaceted costs of this proxy war be a central topic of media coverage, as well as informed analysis, discussion, and debate? Yet what we have in the media and political establishment is, for the most part, a one-sided, even non-existent public discussion and debate. It's as if we live with what journalist Matt Taibbi has dubbed an intellectual no-fly zone." So I was never... I'll put it this way. Glenn Greenwald, Aaron Mate, Max Blumenthal, those people were never invited on MSNBC. And Glenn Greenwald was a staple on MSNBC up until Russiagate. And why did they not bring him on? Because he had a counter narrative. Even Democracy Now! Stopped bringing Glenn Greenwald on. And they never brought on Aaron Mate, even after he won the award for debunking Russiagate. They didn't bring him on. Even places like Democracy Now! Won't even acknowledge his work in Syria, Aaron Mate. So that's why people like Glenn Greenwald, Aaron Mate, and myself go on Tucker Carlson. I will go on any news show to bring this message. And when you see us on there, you should be upset that we're not being invited on other news shows. When you see us on Tucker Carlson, you should go, Tucker Carlson will bring on lefties, but fucking MSNBC and CNN won't. That should be where your ire goes. But of course it doesn't, because you've been propagandized by infiltrators who want you to hate people who's going to unify the working class against the oligarchs. Yet what we have in the media and political establishment is, for the most part, a one-sided, even non-existent public discussion and debate. That's it. If you're anti-war, you don't get invited on CNN, MSNBC, anywhere. Those who speak of history and offer context about the West's precipitating role in the Ukraine tragedy are not excusing Russia's criminal attack. It is a measure of such thinking and the rhetorical or intellectual no-fly zone that prominent figures such as Noam Chomsky, University of Chicago professor John Mersheimer, and former U.S. Ambassador Chaz Freeman, among others, have been demonized or slurred for raising cogent arguments and providing much-needed context and history to explain the background of this war. It's happened to me, too. I don't know why Katrina wanted to leave me out. But it certainly has happened to J to the D, and I certainly get more traction than this guy. Is it not worth asking whether sending even more weapons to the Ukrainians is the wisest course? Is it too much to ask for more questioning and discussion about how best to diminish the danger of nuclear conflict? Why are nonconformists smeared for noting, even bolstered with reputable facts and history, the role of nationalist far-right and, yes, neo-Nazi forces in Ukraine? Why are nonconformists smeared for noting that? I'll tell you why. What do you mean? Your question answers itself. Because they don't want you noting that.
If you think about the amount of people, I mean, just people I know that have been smeared as Nazis who are not remotely close to a Nazi, and now the same people who do the smearing now have to pretend
that real
that actual
Nazis
Nazis
aren't.
are.
Yeah.
I mean, they're only like 20% Nazi. Are you kidding me?
But the truckers in Canada are 100% Nazis.
Just one flag means
Just-
that's what Trevor Noah told me.
That's what Trevor Noah said. Before the war ends, many Ukrainians, and this is what Katrina vanden Heuvel says, she says, before the war ends, many Ukrainians and Russians will die while Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, and Northrop Grumman make fortunes. At the same time, network and cable news is replete with pundits and experts, or more accurately, military officials turned consultants, whose current job and clients are not disclosed to the viewers. So you watch NBC, CBS, CNN, they'll bring on a guy who's getting money from the weapons manufacturers, and they don't tell you. And they always advocate for more war.
It's a secret, like Uvalde body cam footage.
That's
what
right.
Their jobs are.
She ends with this. She says, bringing this current war to an end will demand new thinking and a challenge to orthodoxies of this time. As the venerable American journalist Walter Lippmann once observed, when all think alike, no one thinks very much.
Challenging orthodoxy is nihilism.
It is nihilism.
I don't know. I just feel like in the year 2022, it's you can't be an adult and take yourself seriously and question why an antithetical idea to what the State Department puts out isn't accepted on CNN, who only employs State Department and intelligence linked lackeys. It's like this. It's so simple. I don't see how there's questions around like, why isn't this happening?
Yeah, I mean, I think she knows why. Like I said, her questions answer themselves. I think she's in her mind. I think she's writing that because that first appeared in the Washington Post. So she's writing that for Hillary Biden voters. Like, why isn't
for them? That statement applies for Hillary Biden voters. Then,
yeah.
So there is some baby food in the country.
Speaking of Tucker, by the way, did you see you talking about CNN, MSNBC not bringing voices like yourself or the Gray Zone on to their program? Tucker's 1 a.m. morning repeat show has more viewers than Don Lemon's 9 o'clock prime time broadcast.
Yes, I did see that stat. That is quite. And by the way, more Democrats watch Tucker than watch Don Lemon. Just so you know, more Democratic voters watch Tucker Carlson than Don Lemon. Hey, we're doing stand-up dates. Salt Lake City, Las Vegas, Chicago, Sacramento, and then San Diego, where I'm taping my new special. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all the tickets for all our live shows. We're coming to your town, maybe.